Hey friend, welcome back. This is Produce Perform. If you're new, my name's Lucas. I have been an audio engineer producer for, oh gosh, feels like 15 years now, ever since I was a teenager. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can make your live worship captures sounding a little bit more consistent like you would in a studio without having to re-record them. Because whenever you're playing live, it's so easy to really get into the moment and the just everything that's happening around you. So many distractions. You got an MD talking in your ears, or you're listening to what the drummer's doing or the lead singer, or you don't know if something's going to happen spontaneously, and so you're not really focused on your playing as well. These are like two really cool ways that I have found that will kind of bring some consistency back into the performance, whether it's a vocal performance or guitar, drums, whatever. Doesn't really matter which one it is. This is just a little bit of a way to where you can kind of bring some of that consistency back into the performance without having to redo it. So, not that I'm not opposed to doing overdubs. Okay, you can do overdubs all day if you want to. That's the sound that you're going for, but oftentimes there's something special about the original performance that you want to keep and cultivate because it was real in that moment, right? And so this is a cool way to kind of keep that. And realistically, we're talking more about the volume level, not necessarily the editing side of things. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to have a more consistent performance when it comes to the velocity or the volume of the actual performance. If you guys want me to, I can get into some editing on another video to bring in some more consistency sound, but not take away from the actual performance itself. So let's dig in. So let me get my headphones on actually. All right, so we are here in this track that I got done with a little bit ago. One thing I like to do is so I'm going to show you guys the easy way first, okay? What I would normally do. So let's go with one of these acoustic guitars. I'm going to take this acoustic guitar, and so we have two, and so I'm actually going to I had them panned left and right. So we're going to pan this one center, and then we're going to solo it, and I'm just going to give you guys a listen. Let me turn it up for you guys. So this guitar actually was overdubbed, but here's the thing: is what you guys can see is in the recording, you see like these big spikes. Like if I kind of pull out, you can see these bigger spikes here. I don't care for those to poke out a bunch. And so what I tend to do is we'll hit it with a compressor, and I usually use this MJUC Junior from Klanghelm. It's a very cool compressor. It's absolutely free. So if you guys are ever wanting a cool free compressor, it has a vibe to it. Otherwise, I usually would use like a LA3A or something similar to that. And so even on this, I'm actually hitting like 3 to 5 dBs of gain reduction. And so that's great, but even with this compressor on, some of those main hits that they're doing, the main strums that they're really digging into, are still sticking out a little bit too much. So what I like to do is actually put a limiter on instruments like this, like on the acoustic guitar, maybe electric guitar. I'll put a limiter on, and what it's gonna, and how I have it set here is it's only really going to attenuate, you'll see in this red area here, whenever it's hitting those really heavy down strums. So it's going to bring that level very consistent. Because with acoustic guitar, with a lot of worship mixes, is I'm trying to make it sound more like a texture in the mix rather than it be a prominent instrument. This would be way different if I was mixing it for a acoustic or like a cut down performance. Which, speaking of which, if you guys did not check out my video from last week, I gave you a full breakdown of how I mixed a live worship acoustic recording for a TV show in my last video. So check that out if you guys have not checked that out. But so for this is a very dense mix. So let me give you guys a little picture of this. I'm gonna bring this back down to here. And so this is the full mix here. We'll hit up chorus 3. so it's very dense. There's a lot going on. We got multiple keys happening, some pads, multiple guitars. There's even flute in this track, which is wild. And so with the acoustic is I don't need it. I don't need it to stick out. I don't, you know what I mean? But it's hard not to get it into that great texture zone whenever it is poking out on those bigger strums. So if you guys look here, you guys will see this attenuation. I'll go back, we'll solo it and bring it up here. Bring it back center. So you guys can see it's just barely bouncing. It's barely getting those strums. So let's just bypass it real quick. You see how they're poking out? And then if I turn this on, it's just going to smooth that out. And so that's a very simple and easy way to do this. I like to do this limiter trick more so on acoustic and drums and guitars. It works really, really well for that. Anything that's kind of percussive, which electrics aren't necessarily super percussive anymore. This works super well. But if you are in more of like a vocal thing, it works, but it doesn't work as well. And I like to do the kind of the hard way or the long way more so. So I will get you guys to show you that. So with this song, they actually overdubbed the lead vocal. So the lead vocal is actually super consistent, which I can show you that. They did an awesome job. Lead vocal, where am I going here? Yeah, so you guys can see it's all like this is all super consistent. I don't even think I changed anything, maybe some small things here and there. Nothing crazy, but with these background vocalists, this is what we're going to focus on. You can see here at the end when they're doing like their big chorus here, she's pretty inconsistent here, which is fine. That's like pretty normal, even for like a studio recording. But so for the sake of trying to get things to sound more consistent, especially with these background vocalists, because we want them to be present, but we don't want them to take over, but we also don't want them to be too quiet. And so we're gonna listen to this real quick. Let me pan her center so we can hear her, and then I'll bring up a few dB. Glory, glory, Lord my Savior. So you guys can hear that, you know, in here she's nice and loud, clear, but then when she gets to these ending notes here, she really lowers her volume. I mean, she's also lowering her notes, so it is very natural. Now you can totally smack a compressor on there, get it nice and, you know, compressed. But what I find is that actually what that does is actually pushes the vocal forward. When with this background vocalist, I don't want it to be pushed forward. I want it to sit in the mix and accompany the lead vocal. I don't want it to take over. I want it to add to the mix, but not be a prominent in the mix. So what I will do, and here, let me take this off real quick. So what I'll normally do is I will right click on, in Studio One, I will right click on the region here, or the clip, whatever it's called. And then I like to highlight the gain envelope here. And so you guys will see this pops up. It looks like volume automation. For, you know, whenever you say like you want to put volume automation. Let me just show you that real quick. So if I right click, oh no, what is this bug? Okay, there we go. So if we want to right click and then we hit edit volume automation, see how it's different? So this is volume automation, okay? So we're not doing that. We want to do clip gain automation. And so basically you guys will see this is actually going to change the actual gain of the original recording here. So I'm going to gum about here. We're going to put these little notes, these little dots here, and then come up right above it. And then we're just going to pull this down until it's about the same. And then we're going to do that here. And so this is the long way. It's kind of the difference between doing, if you're tuning vocals and you're doing like Melodyne compared to Auto-Tune. So the limiter is kind of like your Auto-Tune version, which is like you can get away with it on some things, but with you know, like more important things, you probably just want to Melodyne it and get it as good as you can. So now let's give this a listen. Glory, glory, Lord my So we can actually, I think I went down a little bit too far on those because I feel like these pop out a little bit more.
Glory, glory, Lord my Savior. Sing it out, shout it out.
So this like shout here, we can bring this guy down a little bit.
Sing it out, shout it out. Oh,
Yeah, and this out too, we can bring that down. And so you just do this across some of the main things that maybe the you know, if try putting a limiter on it and see if it does what you want it to do. But if that doesn't work, then do something else. Like this, grab these clip envelopes, these clip gain automations, and go through and just edit. And what's great about this is the reason I would actually prefer this on, you know, like a lead vocal or a main instrument or something that's really going to be prominent in the mix is because what it's going to do is it's actually going to have your compressor react a lot better. You know, your compressor is going to react a lot more consistently because it's going to be getting a more consistent sound, which is only going to make the compressor sound better. Because whenever your compressor is overworked, it starts to sound funny. The only time that, you know, an overworked compressor sounds great is if it's like analog, right? Like there's something weird with digital where a lot of analog compressors, like, man, if you're compressing 12, 20 dB or something, it starts to get a little funky on most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And so now I can pull this back into the mix. And so I think what we'll do here is we'll just highlight all these vocals. Oh yeah, I forgot I have these muted. So I was like, man, why am I hearing multiple vocals? Let's hide those.
So we'll sing it out, shout it out. Glory, glory, Lord my Savior. So we'll sing it out, shout it out. Oh.
So now it's sitting in there a little bit better and just accompanying the live vocal more. So we'll give this a listen to the whole mix.
And glory, Lord my Savior. So we'll sing it out, shout it out. Oh, let our praise arise. So we'll sing it out, shout it out. Oh, let our praise arise.
And you can get as nitpicky as you want with that, which is great because you can recover a rough sounding performance that was maybe where they were just all over the place. You know, they were quiet sometime and then they were loud another time, or they're like super loud on one word and then super quiet on the next word, and which can be a nightmare to slap a compressor on. So instead, do the clip gain. Or the gain envelope, like it's and even what's great about, and I know other DAWs probably do this, but you can see there's a small drop off here a little bit. You can get so nitpicky where you can actually create a kind of a fade. So then you can adjust it here. So then it kind of matches. And so you can get so like spot on with how you want the performance volume to be. So like if there is, let me see if I can find like a verse part or something where he's singing a little bit softer. So yeah, even here.
It was silent and hope was gone.
So gone, when he's hitting that low note, you can hear that he's going low, and so whenever you're going on a low note, you lose some power. So we're just gonna bring that up a little bit, and you can see this trail off here. You can even just bring this trail off up just a little bit, just to make sure his trail off feels strong.
It's gone, but heaven
And then in the context of the mix,
and hope was gone, but heaven's anthem.
oh man, like talk about like bringing their performance to a whole new level without ever re-recording them or having to redo it, and keeping the essence of the real performance while getting a much more consistent sound. I think that probably brings the Lord joy, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe, but there's something that, like I said before, there's always something special that happens in the live setting that you just can't really replace. There's something about a live worship, thing that you can't always replace, and so you want to keep it. And so there's so many techniques of vocal tuning or manipulating the gain to where it made the singer seem like they were singing from 4 inches away from the mic the entire time. That you can do to really bring that live performance like back to life and back to sounding professional. And so yeah, try these 2 tricks. Let me know how it goes. They're kind of overly simple, but don't overlook them, because there's something about getting that right before you even hit all your compressors and EQs that can change the game for you and your mixes. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Down below, there's a free mixed cheat sheet. Why was I struggling with that word? And then I built this cheat sheet just for live worship recordings. And I mean, you can use it on all sorts of genres, but it's mainly built for a live worship recording. Basically EQ and compression starting points, to where if you're just confused on where to start EQing something or where to start compressing something, you don't have that worry any longer. You can just open it up, pull it next to your computer, or pull it up on your computer, and then whenever you're mixing, you can just reference it and be like, oh, maybe I should cut 200 here or something like that. So check that out, absolutely free. And I love you guys. God bless you guys, and I will see you on the next video.